everyone and welcome back to Cop.Supply. In this video I'm giving you guys a broken down overview of Cybersole 5.0. Let's go ahead and begin today's video. Before we go ahead and do so, I'd highly appreciate that if you guys do go on to enjoy today's video, please drop a like, subscribe if you guys are new, and turn on post notifications to know the next time we upload. If you do want to go ahead and check out the written overview regarding this video, it will go ahead and document everything I mentioned in this video in the written format. That will be on our website, and I'll leave it linked at the top of the YouTube description. Let's go ahead and begin today's video. So to start today's overview of Cybersole 5.0, I'm going to begin on the settings page and make my way throughout the bot and conclude the video on the task page. I will go ahead and leave timestamps for each page individually down below in the YouTube description, but let's begin on the settings page. The first thing it's going to show you is the version number. We're on 5.0 at the moment. You can check for updates if you wish, and then we have a bunch of tabs here as well as the need help button and the log out button. So I'm on general. When you click general, you can go ahead and configure the default monitor delay, the default error delay, and the default timeout delay. Then it shows you the default values here: 2500, 2510 seconds. Obviously these are milliseconds and not seconds. Then for your quick task settings, you can select your default profiles. We don't have any profiles created at the moment, but this is what the process will look like. You'd select your default profiles, your default proxies, and the default proxies are in reference to your proxy groups, which can be made in the proxies page. We will do that in this video. I have one made at the moment, but we're going to delete that at that point and recreate a new one. Then you have the monitor currency. You can go ahead and set this up if you wish. You have maximum, ratio, or both, and you can set the max. Then for the startup page, you have home or tasks. So obviously that is the startup page when you go ahead and start up the bot. For your currency, I'm on Great British Pounds. That is because I'm from the UK, so I'm going to keep it as that, but these are the currencies available, and you can enable the clock as well. So we enable this. We have 12 hour, as you guys can see, and we also have 24 hour, and that is based on your local computer time. Moving over to notifications, this is where you can go ahead and enable notifications and configure notifications for checkout, delay, capture, smart actions, and other. So in the checkout section, you can allow checkout notifications, you can allow inbound notifications, desktop notifications, and you can go ahead and configure the sound here. Now when you click this, you can go ahead and actually upload custom sounds if you wish, and you can play it once you've gone ahead and done so. Moving over to the decline section, once again it's the exact same thing. You can go ahead and configure the sounds and notifications and whether you want to allow it. Same thing for capture, same thing for smart actions, and the same thing for other notifications as well. Moving over to the webhook section, this is where you can go ahead and configure your webhooks to receive real-time notifications into your favorite services. Let's click new webhook here. You can go ahead and customize the name, the platform, which is either Discord or Slack, and you can go ahead and enter the webhook. And then once you go ahead and configure all this, hit enter name, and that will be good to go, and that will go ahead and create the webhook. Moving on to the account section, this is where you can go ahead and add accounts to quickly log into selected stores. You can clear your accounts and add accounts. When you click this, it's going to ask you for accounts in the formation account:password. So let's say for example my account is John123. I do colon and then type in the password here. I go ahead and select what this account is going to be for. So let's say it's for 100 Thieves. I go ahead and select this. I go ahead and import, or you can drag and drop a text file if all your accounts are in there. Make sure to ensure that all your accounts that are in a text file, if you do decide to drag and drop it, are in the formation account:password. Majority of accounts that I bought these days are, so that's fine. Hit the import new account. It'll show how many accounts you're importing, and as you guys can see, the account gets imported. It shows the store, the email, and you can also delete it at any time, and you can go ahead and select it and delete it that way as well. Moving over to Google accounts, this is where you can go ahead and store Google accounts for easy access when using solvers. Once again, you can go through this whole process. It's going to prompt you to name it, type in the email address, you can save it, and you can go through the Google account process. Then we have the PayPal account section where you can go ahead and store PayPal accounts for easy access when creating tasks. Once again, very simple process. You hit add account, you log in through PayPal, and that goes ahead and adds the accounts. Then for the data section, this is where you can import, export, and backup data. So you can go ahead and select the data by hitting this drop down. You have proxies, billing, accounts, solvers, settings, tasks, and smart actions. You go ahead and select what you want to go ahead and export or import. It's completely up to you. You would go ahead and select what you want to export or reset, and you can also drag and drop to import or click to select a file if you wish to go ahead and do that. Obviously the export button is here and the reset button is here as well. For the backup section, you can back up now, you can view your backups, you can restore from a backup, and you can go ahead and configure the max backups and the backup interval over here. Then for logs, you have the view logs button, you have the max file size. If you want to go ahead and stop the logs from getting too long, then obviously come here and configure that. And you have the maximum retention time when it comes to your logs. So it's currently set to 1 day. You can up that or decrease that if you want. Moving over to the advanced section, this is for the capture providers. You can add and configure third-party capture solving services. Hit add source. You go ahead and configure the name, the platform. The available platforms at the moment is 2Capture, CapMonster, Anti-Capture, and AYCD. You enter the API key, the concurrency, and you can enable it. And then once you go ahead and configure this, you can select the platform here. Moving over to keyboard shortcuts, this is where you can go ahead and set up shortcuts, and there are some enabled at the moment. You have task editor, stop all, a bunch of useful stuff here. So if you use the bot a lot, I'd recommend learning all these shortcuts. And let's say for example you don't like the F1 button being the start all button, you can click this and it begins recording, and in that moment you can go ahead and click a key and rebind it to a key of your choice. So let's say I want F10, it goes ahead and changes that. That was my system key for some reason. But as you guys can see, you can go ahead and configure it. Then on the custom source section, this is where you can go ahead and add custom Shopify store presets for easy access. You can add preset, you enter the store URL, and then you can go ahead and set all this up if you wish. I'm not going to do that in this video. Then for the shipping rate section, this is where you can go ahead and add shipping rates to skip fetching these on Shopify sites. So obviously this speeds up the whole checkout process. You click add rates, you go ahead and select the store here. So let's say we do 100 Ds. You can go ahead and select the profile. I can't go through this process at the moment because I've yet to create a profile in this video, but you can select the profile, you go ahead and enter the product linked or rate token, and then you go ahead and save it as under a name here, and then obviously that goes ahead and creates the rates. And once again, just to recap this section, if you want to log out you can, if you need help you can click this button. But let's move over to the billing section. So for the billing section, this is where you can go ahead and create profile groups, and within those groups you can go ahead and create profiles. Now you do see a 4.0 profile group here. That is because my profiles from 4.0 were in the bot, but I'm going to go ahead and delete this so we can start from scratch. Hit delete. So we're going to click new group here. I'm going to call this video test, just like so. Hit create group, and that goes ahead and creates the group. Now at the top it shows the name of the group that we just created, and it says no profiles loaded. If you go ahead and click this cog here, you can change the group name if you wish. I'm not going to do that. And finally, you can also go ahead and delete it. Let's X out of this, and then when you go ahead and create a profile, it shows the profile, the email, card holder, card, and shipping. Then you can go ahead and search for your profiles if you wish. You can add a profile and also clear the profiles within the group. But let's go ahead and actually add a profile here. Now I'm not going to go ahead and break down this entire thing because it's pretty simple, but I'm going to go ahead and show all these sections before I go ahead and fill it out. Now something new that has been added to Cybersole in their 5.0 update is the expression guide. This is where you can go ahead and hover to see what each randomization expression does and click to copy it. So you can go ahead and do this if you wish. You can go ahead and test your expression here as well. So let's say for example, if I go ahead and click copy here and I go ahead and enter it in here, you can see it goes ahead and generates a random email. And we can go ahead and refresh this if we wish, but that's how this process works. So before I go ahead and actually create my profile here, we do have the payment, shipping, and billing sections of the profile creation process. If you want different billing, you can go ahead and enable that. If you want the shipping and billing to be the same, then obviously untick this. But I'm actually going to go ahead and fill out all this information. Give me one moment. So I've gone ahead and filled out my information here, and the profile name is going to be video test. This is just some random information for the purpose of this video. I'm going to click the save button, and as you guys can see, one profile has been loaded. It shows the profile name, the email being used, the card holder, the last 4 digits of the card and what type of card it is, as well as the shipping address here. You can go ahead and edit it and delete it if you wish. If you go ahead and right click the profile, you can create test profile, you can clone the profiles, you can move profiles to different groups, and you can also delete the selected profiles. Moving over to the proxy section, this is very similar to the billing section. However, obviously it's more catered towards proxies here in the sense that you can go ahead and create groups and you can go ahead and enter things into those groups. So let's hit the new group button. Let's call this video test proxies. Just like so, hit create group, and that will go ahead and create the group. As we can see, no proxies have been loaded. If we hit the cog, we can go ahead and configure the name, the max usage, the behavior. We have none, local, or stop. So none is task will continue to run and use the proxy group. Local is task will continue to run and revert to your local IP. And stop is essentially that tasks will stop. You can go ahead and configure the max usage. You have resets limit after manual 30 minutes an hour. You can go ahead and configure this. Now I'm going to go ahead and X out of this section, and I'm going to go ahead and break down what we can see here. We can see the current download and current upload of the proxies. We can see the IP, port, username, and status. We can add proxies, clear all, and click more here. You can test all on a certain site, and you can go ahead and clear failed and clear over a certain speed. So that is actually pretty useful. We're going to go ahead and test all this out in a moment. Let's say add proxies. I'm going to go ahead and enter a proxy here. I'm pretty sure this doesn't work, but I'm going to blur it out regardless. So essentially this proxy will be added to a certain group here. So we have group 1 and video test proxies. Let's add it to the group we just made, and you can go ahead and drag and drop a txt file here if you want to go ahead and import the proxies. Let's import this new proxy here, and let's go ahead and test it with the test button. It's going to ask us what site we want to test it on. Let's test it on Supreme. Hit the test button. I'm pretty sure these proxies don't work. As you guys can see, the status is return request error just because of the fact that the proxies don't work, which is completely fine. We can choose to clear all of them. We can go to the more section, and just to go back on this, we can test all the proxies on a certain site. As you guys saw before, I selected an individual proxy and then selected the site, but if we were to test like tons of proxies, then obviously going through each one and clicking the test button will be tedious, so this option is useful in that case. Then we have clear failed, so let's say you have 100 proxies and 50 of them fail, you can clear the failed ones, saves you a lot of time, and you can clear over a certain speed. So let's say for example you're going for a release and you want, let's say 100 milliseconds and no more than that. When it comes to your speed, then obviously this becomes pretty useful. Now that we've gone ahead and broken down the proxies page, I'm going to move over to the home page here, and I'm going to conclude the video on the task page. So the home page looks like this. As you guys can see, there's a ton of information on here. Let's go ahead and break it down. So we have a little graph here, or a diagram, whatever you want to call it. It shows the checkout, and it also shows the money spent. And obviously we went ahead and configured our currency to Great British Pounds at the beginning of this video. That's why it shows the pound symbol here. So we have no data at the moment, and that is because we've set it to today. So it shows the money spent today as well as the checkouts that have taken place today. We hit week, obviously same thing. If we hit month and we hit year, obviously it shows something different. If we have 36 checkouts, it shows the data in a very detailed way. So let's go ahead and examine this. We have November, there was 2 checkouts in November. In December there was 13. In January there was 0, in February there was 8. So this is pretty useful when it comes to seeing how well you did, how many checkouts you did, and as well as the spendage, you can go ahead and view how much money you spent in these months as well when we're on the years section. Obviously when we go to month, the scale will be different. For week the scale will be different, and today the scale will be different as well. Now on the right side we have the checkout feed. This is where you can go ahead and view your items. I've actually gone ahead and blurred this out. If you want to go ahead and check it out, you can go ahead and look at the bot itself. Inside you can see your checkout feed, but there is some sensitive information here, so I'm not going to show it, but I'll go ahead and break down what I can see here. We can see the shoe item image, we can see the title for the shoe, we can see the price, and we can also see the profile that have been used. We can see the time, and we can also see the date. So a lot of detailed information here. And then below we have releases, so we can go ahead and select on release and read the guide and the site list. It shows the retail, the date dropping. Obviously this is a collection, so we don't see the retail price, but you can go ahead and check out the guide and site list if you wish. Now we're going to go ahead and conclude the video on the task page. Let's go ahead and break down what we can see here. So we have 4 statuses at the top here, as you guys can see, and that will go ahead and change depending on where our tasks are at. Then we have the task group at the top here. We have the task creator. You can clear your tasks, you can start them, you can stop them, you can edit your task at mass. We'll go ahead and play around with this after we create our tasks. And we also have the capture solver. When you go ahead and create your task, you'll see the site, product, profile, proxies being used, the status of the task, and the total tasks here, and there will be actions here as well to be used. You can also search for your tasks as well. Now if we want to go ahead and create a group, click this and hit new group. I'm going to call this video test task group, just like so. We're going to hit the create group button. That will go ahead and create the group. Now we're within the group here. Now let's go ahead and click this 3 dots here. This will show you the group settings. We can configure the group name. We can configure the delays in regards to the monitor delay, error delay, and timeout delay. You also have your limits. You can go ahead and set a total checkout limit. So let's say for example, I have 20 tasks in this group and I only want to go ahead and check out 10 items across all those 20 tasks. I can go ahead and configure a total checkout limit. You can go ahead and set a total checkout limit per profile. You can go ahead and configure the reset limits after. You can go ahead and go through this again if you wish, and then we can go ahead and delete the group as well. But let's go ahead and actually create a task here. Let's go to the task creator, and this is what it looks like. So the task will be going into the video test task group. Then we can go ahead and select a store here. So let's go ahead and select Supreme EU. Now you will notice, depending on the site you go and select, the task creation process does become a little different, but just keep that in mind. So we're going to go to Supreme EU. We're going to go ahead and select some sizes here. If you want to select multiple, you simply go ahead and select the sizes, and as you guys can see, they go ahead and separate in a tag format here. This is one size tag, another. So we're going to go ahead and keep that how it is. You can go ahead and enter the keywords for the monitor inputs. Let's say I want to go ahead and do plus, let's say we can do like plus box for example, and that will go ahead and act as a keyword. Then we can go ahead and set up the category. We can go ahead and select it. Let's say sweatshirts. For color, blank for random. So if you want a random color, leave it blank. If you want a specific color, we can go and enter that. I'm going to enter white. Then for profile, you can go ahead and select a group, or you can go ahead and select the individual profile. So I'm not going to select the group, I'm just going to hit the individual profile. Then for proxies, you can go ahead and select the group. You have none, that will use your local IP, or you can use the proxies within that. I'm going to hit none, given the proxy we used inside the group didn't work. You can do a schedule start, and this will be based on your local computer time, and you have quantity per profile. You can go ahead and configure this over here. Moving over to advanced, you have the monitor mode, you have it per task, the shared monitor and the import monitor. So let's go ahead and read what this is about. Per task, each task will constantly add the specified monitor delay. This will ensure you have the highest chance of picking up your product fast, but uses more data and increases your chances of getting banned. Now for the shared monitor option, it says only a few tasks will monitor the selected store at the specified monitor delay. The products found will then be shared across all tasks. This uses less data and allows you to set lower delays. You can configure the amount of monitoring tasks in these settings. Moving over to inbot monitor, tasks will wait for the inbot monitor to detect a new product or restock and use the data provided by the monitor. While using this mode, no data will be used while searching for a product/restock. I'm going to go with per task here, but you can go and experiment with that if you wish. Then you can go ahead and configure the monitor delay, the retry delay, and the timeout, and you can see the grayed out default values here. If you wish to go and change that, then you can. Then you have store configurations, you have the quantity, and you can go ahead and select the Pookie mode as well. Obviously this is unique to Supreme, and this will change depending on the site you go ahead and select. Then for price check, you have a minimum price, the maximum price, and the currency. So let's say for example, you know that this sweatshirt might be £180, but it also might be £300. You don't know which room is correct. You can go ahead and select the price check here. So if it goes over your budget, then the task will simply just not go for it. Let's go ahead and actually create this task here by hitting the create task button, and you can see the task gets created. We can go ahead and X out of this. It shows the site, the product, which is the keyword and the sizes, the profile, proxies, status, which is idling because we have yet to do anything. We can start it, edit it, and also delete it, and it shows the total task at the top. When you right click the task, you can start the task, force start task, stop task, edit task, clone tasks, view the task, move task to a different group, and also delete the task. This is assuming you go ahead and select multiple. At the moment I've only selected one, so this action will only go ahead and affect this one task. Now before we go ahead and actually run the task here and go through that process, let's go ahead and break down the rest of this page. We have the edit task button, in which you can go ahead and edit the tasks here. So let's say for example I want to change the store or the sizes. Let's say I want to add more sizes here. Let's go 5, 5.5 and 6. If I hit save task, you can see the sizes get added. Then we also have the capture solver, so you can go ahead and pop up the capture solver. You can select a Google account if you have put one into the bot. You can enter a proxy, and you can go ahead and filter the capture here if you wish. You can also add more solvers if you wish, and you can also refresh this solver if you wish. Then you can minimize it and X out of it, which is what I'm going to do now. Once again, you can search your task. Now at the top, I realized that I didn't cover this, so let's cover it now. When you select your icon, you will see your full name, your email, which I've blurred out in this video. You have a shortcut to go to the dashboard, the terms of service, the privacy policy, an option to log out, and that's about it. It also shows your Discord API as well. Then we have the notifications here. It shows 0 notifications. You can also clear it as well. Then you have one of the most biggest features that's came to Cyber with this new update. If you click this, it's going to show the monitor feed. Now you can go ahead and actually launch quick tasks from this monitor. You can see the price. You can go ahead and click the link here, and you can go ahead and look at this monitor whilst everything is coming in. You can also search the feed if you wish. Then you have some options here to go and filter it if you wish. And it also shows the sizes. As you guys can see, everything's just coming in as we're talking here. Then for the smart action section, this is where you can go ahead and create smart actions, which is something that's new to cyber. I'm going to go ahead and show you. Let's create a new action. Now this is what it looks like. So let's say, for example, we have a bunch of triggers here. So something needs to be triggered, then it'll be a filter and an action. So let's say, for example, we do a task result. Then we go ahead and create a new filter. The variable will be the result, the group name, store name, product or sizes. Let's put result. The operator can be success or declined. Let's put success. And then obviously there's no query required in that case. Let's say declined. Obviously no query required in that case. You can go ahead and put a group name. And then obviously you can go ahead and do equals, not equals, contains, not contained. Obviously there's a lot of options here. I'm not going to break it down in this video because there's a lot of options. I'd highly recommend that if you do have the bot, you can go ahead and look more into detail. This video is more of just a general overview. If you have the bot and you want to know more about it, they do have documentation within their Discord that you can go ahead and check out. But I'd highly recommend you utilize these smart actions once you get to know how to use them, because they are pretty useful. So let's go ahead and run the task here. As you guys can see, it's just going to search for a product. It's not going to find anything because I just typed in something random here, but that's how this process works. Then you can go ahead and stop the task. You can see that the task is in this section at the moment. Let's stop it, and obviously it comes out of that. And then once again, you can edit and delete the task as well. So that is going to go ahead and conclude this broken down overview of Cybersole 5.0. If you guys did enjoy the video, please drop a like, subscribe if you guys are new. Make sure to go ahead and check out the written overview linked down below in the YouTube description regarding this overview. I'm going to catch you guys next time. Peace out.